Alright, so that intro was very different for a very, very good reason. And that is the fact that this season, number 6 of Dexter, did something that was completely out of left field. It did something I did not think was going to happen after season 5, where it became my favorite because of a very personal reason to me. That is this. Today I showered and put this on. And Morbid Angel, Deicide, maybe not so much Morbid Angel, but Deicide, specifically this album, has lyrics that I believe in, and is why you saw the song actually on this album, which was called Fuck Your God, which is the 4th song on Scars of the Crucifix. And this became my favorite because it talks about insane Christians. And of course, as Dexter himself said, most Christians, because we're not talking about all religion here, because we're talking about all religion, there is one religion that would use religion as an excuse for murder. However, we're going to focus at the topic on hand. And of course, as Dexter said, when Christianity is in place, not all Christians, and not a majority, and even though the other one is a minority too, it's a larger minority than Christianity, 99.9% of Christians would never use it as an excuse to kill. 100% of Christians, if you only consider the true Christians, would never use it as an excuse to kill. And, however, I still like it because it can still be used as a showing and telling of how the level of insanity what level of insanity goes along with Christianity, and why I'm so openly against it. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm afraid of mentioning the other religion. I've made songs about the other religion on multiple albums, so no, it's just that I'm staying on this topic, this one. And I don't like to talk about my personal beliefs because those are private, that I don't even tell my closest friends or lovers, because I don't believe that that's something that should be shared. I think that a personal belief that you construct yourself with your own moral beliefs and values and codes and rules or whatever, I said code as a reference to Dexter, of course, your own personal code, is something that should be left up to yourself. You shouldn't share that with everyone. It is, for lack of a better term, sacred in a sense. And if that's the one part of me I can keep to myself, I would like to keep it to myself for a very long time. Even though there might be a little hint of it in certain lyrics, it's never truly the full extent. And I think if I were to spread it in a song or album, it would be the last album I would ever create. And I just don't know if that's something that I'm headed for yet. Because right now, I think that I have more than one album in me. But if for some reason my head reasons with me that the next album should be the last one, I will be the first to take that. And it will most likely feature, to the best ability, and still be cryptic enough to not be fully deciphered, the beliefs of me. But the moral of the story is, I like this because it has to do with something that I can connect with, the insanity of Christianity. And even the good people in this, like Batista, he has no way of being able to explain or being able to show any, real reason to explaining Christianity or God. Actually, he doesn't say Christianity. When he tries to explain God to Dexter or whatever, and even the guy who explains it the best, I see him as the pastor, even though I don't know, even he isn't. He is the mechanic guy who gets killed by Nick, the guy who works for him, that Dexter ends up drowning. I know I should remember his name because I actually fucking love that guy. And he's one good example of someone who uses Christian belief the right way, in my opinion. Who uses it for good. And that's where I think people will be interested and shocked how I can say that when I admit to hating Christianity. But here's the thing. I hate the religion, not the people. There is right ways to use it, and there's wrong ways to use it. And people who use religion as a guide in life, not as a rule, they use it correctly. But people who step the line between guide and rule, who let religion rule over their life, yes, I disgrace those people. Despise, I know that's the correct word. But everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's the mechanic, right? He was still unable to say it. But he explained in a very good way in that faith, no matter what it is in, no matter what your faith is, if your faith is in something negative, your soul or your mind, in a realistic sense of saying it, will be consumed by that faith. And that's something that's not limited to Christianity. That's just universal. If your faith is impure or evil in nature, it will consume your mind and make you evil in nature. And that's why the people who have no remorse for killing, they already had that faith in them before. That's the kind of thing that's kind of hard to explain, but they had the faith that led them to that. They had a faith in something that was not positive. My faith is still positive. No matter how dark, no matter how sinister or unjust it may seem if I worded it out. But I guess that's one way of looking at it. As long as your faith doesn't drive you to killing or hurting, it is something of positive nature. Now, review. His body was found with the intestines removed, and replaced by 7 snakes, 7 baby snakes. Omer Riviera, the first tableau, and it was in the book of Revelations, these killings took place by Travis Marshall, who was an insane man who believed that his killings were not only justified, but he believed his killings to be Professor James Geller's work. However, he murdered him 3 years prior. The second killing that happened in the hands of Travis is Nathan Roberts. His dismembered body parts were arranged to represent the Four Horsemen tableau. And then Erin Bayer was a woman used for the Angel of Death tableau. And she died when a police that Deborah tried to stop, but failed to stop, triggered a tripwire, causing a spike collar around her neck to impale her in the throat, to be quite honest. And even though it was in the neck, the throat and the artery around it is the realistic term of what killed her. And that was probably the most visually dark scene, I'd say, because yeah, that was the only time I believe we directly made eye contact with the killing in a way that was as dark, brutal, and sinister as that one was. In my opinion, at least. People can disagree because we have Lisa Marshall, Travis' sister, who he killed to become the new whore of Babylon after his first intended victim escaped. Right. And apparently this actually reminded me now that Holly Benson was... Oh, she was murdered. Okay. Yeah, okay. She was murdered by the Steve guy that I'm not really going to touch. But that's because I'm only talking about the main ones. And Trent Casey was found disemboweled, blood drained, hands cut off, representing the bowels of wrath tableau. And the Lake of Fire was intended to be on Dexter. And then the last one, which I forget the name of, Lapolic, my buddy, will be able to type that in the comments below. Please do that so everyone can be alerted and reminded if they forgot. Something with the devil or whatever. They push the devil into hell itself. Whatever that tableau is called, because it doesn't mention it here. The Lamb, I guess. The Lamb tableau was the one where he intended... Oh, because the devil wasn't... No, because the devil was part of that Lake of Fire. Where he tried to kill Dexter. But the Lamb, when he failed, he was trying to kill Dexter Morgan's son, Harrison Morgan, which he failed as well, because Dexter stopped him and took him to the chapel, the church, abandoned church. Does chapel work for this? This one, Lapoli can let me know. But with the Trent Casey, the important part to mention is that the blood, when a limb was moved, was on top of the stage and poured down onto them by the stage apparatuses that were hooked up to his arm, Trent's arm, and poured all over everyone there, including Deborah and all them. And this whole season, with Deb becoming lieutenant and that, really fucked her up. It was the hardest season for her so far, by far, and I know what happens in the first episode of season 7. So, yes, I acknowledge that what happens then, because I did get curious and I needed closure, which only led me to even more fucked up natures. But I have to sleep sometime, and that's now, because it's 1 a.m. I don't know what to say. In my opinion, the season 6 was the most fucked up for her because that's obviously where we'll end. And we'll end on the fact that the ending features, the final blow from Dexter to Travis, and Deborah Morgan, his sister, witnessing the death. And unfortunately, traumatizing her and changing her for the worst, as I have found out. And to me, I will leave this actually to a conversation I will hold privately with my friend, just in case, because I want to leave it there, because I didn't really find out much, but it's easy to put the dots together, that it changed her for the worse. But we'll see how it shapes up in season 6 and how they handle it together and whatnot. Just not the way I expected this to end. I will say that as much as I do agree with Dexter that not all Christians would go that far, it does feel good to see one crazy Christian son of a bitch be put down. Because one is one too little. That's been me. And my review of this one is that, as I said, it became my favorite. And it's more because of personal beliefs and just resonating with the task at hand than anything. And I don't know how... I guess because of that, I can't see why this is a weaker season to people. And also because of how important it is as a season, as Deborah finds out who her brother really is because of what happens in the end. Because of that, it's hard for me to understand why people consider this a worse season, because it's one of the most important seasons, and so is season 7, because I've already seen the first episode. I wanted closure, and I got an even bigger fuck. I'm starting to talk like Deborah Morgan here. And I should honestly do this to make myself look like her too. Shit. I can't deny that. I will say one little fucked up detail about me. They are step siblings, right? I kind of hoped for them to get together in a semi fucked up way. They're not related by blood. It would have been kind of cool, but well, a little birdie already spoiled who's going to be Dexter. I didn't say anything too much yet, so I can still drop that off and edit it out. I just realized I can edit things out of this. And that's why exactly I will keep everything in it. But as I said to myself in the past take of this, I had a mistake of this where I went on way too long about the other things and didn't have enough time to actually talk about the show and what happened. But yes, it became my favorite because of being personally important to me, and because of that and the material in the show, what can I say? It's a 10 out of 10 season, and the realistic thing so far is not a single season has dropped below 10 out of 10 for me so far. And this is why I said that I think that I'm going to enjoy this show more than most people because this show connects with me at a deeper level than most people probably would. And in a way, it's comforting to know that I'm probably going to love the most hated seasons. The most hated season. Because I know that it's considered that 8th season is the worst. And I'm probably going to love that one. I'm probably going to rate it 10 out of 10. I'm probably going to say, after watching Original Sin, New Blood, and Resurrection is supposed to be flawless according to my buddy even. I'm probably going to say that about Original Sin and New Blood as well. That it's all flawless because of one particular thing. Dexter as a show, it connects with something within me that I can't explain. And no, it's not an urge to kill people. It's just the way it's... I don't know how to describe it. It's undescribable. I love it for reasons I can't explain. And that's why I love it all the more. That's why I'm so happy that I'm watching this, because as of now, I have seen the majority of the first Dexter show. And if I have to say Dexter's first show on its own, even if the next 2 seasons end up turning out like dog shit, so if I watch the rest of season 7 and season 8 and end up disliking it, this first show, the first Dexter show, so the original Dexter show, I think I'm ready to say it, is still going to be tied with Trailer Park Boys for my favorite show of all time. And the only reason it won't beat Trailer Park Boys for my absolute favorite is because it's impossible. It's physically impossible. And because there is no level of enjoyment beyond Trailer Park Boys for me. They can only be equal. They can only be even. So even if the rest of Dexter's entire repertoire is flawless, it doesn't matter because Trailer Park Boys is already there for me. So with that said, the first original show of Dexter is going to remain and become my favorite show of all time, but it won't become so alone because it still has to share a room with Trailer Park Boys. And that's the best way I can conclude this review. I fucking love this show. I have no idea why it took me this long to come to this conclusion. But in the same way, I'm glad it did, because now, with the newest show out, Resurrection, it just seems like it's all worth it. It seems like now was the perfect time to start watching. And apparently Resurrection or New Blood or whatever the fuck is even gonna get a sequel. There's even more to come. This is going to be the longest show in history. I don't know about that, but it's going to be longer than Lost. It already is longer than Lost. But it has the potential to become the longest running show in history, doesn't it? With the watching length. The watch time. I don't know. Is it going to be? I don't fucking know. I wish I knew. But yeah, I'm going to cut it here to keep it within 20 minutes. But yeah. This has been one fucked episode of Dexter's Review. Peace, motherfuckers. Hail Satan.